Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Lee and let's jump right on into it. Alright, so I am going to do a video. I'm going to try and do this type of video every single month towards the beginning of the month. It kind of just depends on if my life will allow me to do this. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video of the books that I bought in each month versus the books that I read in each month. So in this video, I'm going to show you all the books that I purchased or received in the month of December and then all the books I read in December. So I'm going to get to the books that I purchased first, and then I will get into the books that I read afterwards. If you could just see the mess of books that are at my feet right now, it's actually kind of insane, but let's just go ahead and jump right on into it. Okay, so first up, like I said in my last video, I am part of a book club that is run by one of my favorite TikTokers, Meg's Tea Room. I got my book club books for December, January, and February. So let me just show you what books those are. So the December book club book, which I've already read, is The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. I gave this book 4 stars and I really enjoyed it, and I will talk more about it later on when I talk about the books that I've read in December. I'll just stick around to kind of know my thoughts and opinions on this book. Then for January, my book club is going to be reading The Maid and the Crocodile by Jordan Ofeka. I don't know if I just said your name right. I'm so sorry if I butchered the names or any names of authors that I mention on this video. So this book is a YA book. It takes place in the same world as Raybearer and Redemptor. I'm actually listening to Raybearer right now on audiobook, and just to kind of familiarize myself with the world of, you know, like what's going on when I do eventually read this book. And then finally for February, my book club is reading The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. So this is what the cover looks like. I know nothing about this book or what it's about. But yeah, very excited to eventually read this in February. All right, now let's get into the books that I got before the holiday season. So I only have 2. So first up is a book that I actually received as a book fairy gift on my TikTok. That's one of my favorite things about the bookish community, is the fact that we book fairy each other. I just think that's absolutely adorable. But I got Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman by a woman by the name of Amy. I was her 1500th follower on TikTok, so she unexpectedly sent me this book, and I just absolutely love that. And I'm very excited to read this, even though I know it's going to be quite heavy in terms of like the topic and everything like that. So if you ever plan on reading this book, please check your trigger warnings, because from what I've heard, this book gets very, very heavy. And then finally, I got The Frozen River by Ariel Lahone. I have been wanting this book for a very, very long time, and I went to Barnes & Noble one day, I think to go like shopping for some of like my coworkers and like do that kind of shopping first, and I went to Barnes & Noble and I wanted this, so I picked it up. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the books that I actually got during the holiday season. So for just that whole like 3 days, the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th, because I think I got something just about every single day. Okay, it is a mess down here. All right. So the first book that I got, I actually got on the evening of the 23rd. I usually spend the night on the 23rd at my mom's house, and then we do like a Christmas Eve celebration at her house, and we open stockings at her house. And this year, because my family had stuff going on in the morning and we couldn't do like our normal celebration, my mom and my stepdad allowed my sister and I to open our stockings early. So we got to actually open it on the night of the 23rd, and I got The Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan. And I've gotten a lot of books about books this year. I don't know what it was. I literally had to create a prompt a new prompt in my TBR jar. And by the way, if you want a video of explaining my TBR jar, I use that to pick out all my physical books during the year. So if you want a video explaining how I do that and like what I use and everything like that, just let me know and I would be happy to create that video for you. But I am very excited to read this book whenever I do get to it. And then this is actually not a book that my mom got like during the holiday season. She actually got this back in April on Indie Bookstore Day. My mom, my grandmother, and I, we went to an indie bookstore in our local area and we all got a book, and the book she got was The Flower Sisters by Michelle Collins Anderson, and you can even see it still has her bookmark in it. She got about halfway through and I guess she decided that she was never going to finish it, and she knew I wanted to read it. My grandmother wanted to read it, so she decided to just give this book to me on December 24th. She kind of just plopped it into my lap and was like, here you go. And I was like, oh, thank you. Okay, so now let's talk about the books that I actually got for Christmas. I actually have 6 books that I got on Christmas. 2 from my dad, 2 from my mom and stepdad, and 2 from my grandparents, even though I know for a fact my grandmother was the one that picked them out. And then I also have a separate stack because I did participate in the hardcover sale that Barnes & Noble was putting on a few days after Christmas. So let's just go ahead and get into that. The first 2 books that I got for Christmas were from my dad. So he got me a nonfiction book and a fiction book, and that is something that I'm wanting to get more into this year, is reading nonfiction, because I read a lot of nonfiction in high school especially, and then when I got back into reading last September, I kind of like stopped. I don't know why, but that is a goal of mine in 2025, is to read more nonfiction. So my dad, he got me Matthew Perry's memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, written by him. And I actually do have this on Audible, and it's actually narrated by him. So I'm very excited to eventually listen to this and hear his voice, because I did not grow up when Friends was premiering. I was like 7 years old when it like ended. So I didn't really get to experience like his whole journey with addiction and everything, because I was quite a bit older, and it had been a long time since everything had happened when I discovered Friends and started watching it for myself. So I'm very excited to read about this part of his life, and it is going to be a very bittersweet experience hearing his voice, but I am very excited to read this. And then the fiction book that my dad got for me is We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. This is a book, I'm pretty sure it's about a rock band that more than likely sold their soul to the devil. And it's honestly kind of funny because my dad is a very like big like rock band. He loves anything from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, specifically like classic rock, hard rock, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty sure he saw this and he was like, that looks interesting. I'm gonna get this for my daughter. So I kind of love the fact that he's the one that got me this book, because not only does it sound really interesting to me, but I feel like just knowing my dad and his personality, like this just, I don't know, it kind of made my day. The next 2 books are from my mom and my stepdad. So they got me 2 fiction books. So the first book that they got me was The Lost Storyteller by Amanda Block. All of my family just went on my Amazon wish list that I sent to them earlier in the month, and they each just got 2 books for me from my wish list. So this was one of them. I also do not remember what this book was about, but again, it's another book that has to do with stories or books. So again, I'm kind of glad that I made that prompt for my TBR jar, because I have a feeling I'm going to be reading a lot about books in this next year. And then the other book that my mom and stepdad got me was The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. I'm not really sure. This is a book that I've been wanting for a very, very long time. So I'm really excited that my mom and my stepdad grabbed it. So yeah. And then finally, We have the books that my grandparents got me, even though, like I said, I know for a fact my grandmother picked these because they're both thrillers, and that is her go-to genre. She absolutely loves thrillers. That is her favorite genre of all time. So she got me The Woman in the Woods by Lisa Hall. And then she also got me The Chain by Adrian McKenty. This book specifically is a book that I've heard a lot about, and it's another book that's very, very heavy. So again, check your trigger warnings if you ever decide to read this book. Also, the book The Frozen River, I forgot to mention that. I also hear that it deals with very heavy topics. So please, please, please check your trigger warnings for any of these books if you feel like there might be something in it that you might not want to read about. So this book is, again, a book that I've kind of been wanting for a while, but I've been kind of scared to pick it up. So I am very, very glad that my grandmother got this for me, and now I don't have an excuse not to read it because it is in my collection. Oh my dear God. Okay, so like I said earlier, I did participate in the hardcover sale that Barnes & Noble was doing because I always like to take advantage of that sale. This is my second year participating in it. So I went twice. I went once the day after Christmas with my sister, and then I went a couple of days after that with my grandmother at a completely different Barnes & Noble. So I'm going to go ahead and separate these into the books that I got on each trip. So for the 4 books that I got when I went with my sister, I ended up getting Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I also have Babel from her. I haven't read it yet, but I want to. And I'm very excited to read this book because it's definitely very interesting. I have a feeling it's going to be a book that really makes me think and kind of is a topic that I don't really know that much about. So I'm very interested in that book. And then I got another nonfiction book. This is another book that I've been wanting for a while. It is Jennette McCurdy's memoir. And this is a book that I've heard nothing but good things about. Everybody that has read it has absolutely praised it. And I also have this on Audible, and it is also narrated by her. And unlike Matthew Perry, where I didn't really grow up with him, I grew up watching iCarly, and I watched a little bit of Sam and Cat when it was airing. So I am very, very interested in to kind of see a behind the scenes of like her life and just the entertainment industry. And then the other 2 books that I got are A Faked Ink and Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. This is a book that I've been wanting for a really long time. And then The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. This was Barnes & Noble's Book of the Year last year for 2023. So I guess not actually last year because it's now 2025. Holy cow. Anyway, this is a book that I have been very, very interested in pretty much since I heard about it. So I decided to take advantage of the hardcover sale this year and decided to go ahead and grab it. Hello, this is future Anna Lee. Past Anna Lee realized that she forgot to mention the 2 books that she got in my second trip to Barnes & Noble during the hardcover sale and forgot to talk about those 2 books. So sorry about that. So let's go ahead and talk about those 2 books. So I got What the River Knows by Isabel Abanas. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But this is a book that I've been wanting for a very, very long time. So got that. And then another book that I got on that second day is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, something like that. So yeah, so sorry, forgot to mention those 2 books. Now let's go back to Past Anna Lee. And then one more book in my haul of books that I got in December of 2024. On the same day that I went with my sister to the Barnes & Noble, we did stop at Target because she needed to get a couple of things and I had a couple of gift cards. So of course I had to get a book. And I ended up picking up Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is a book that I've seen quite a bit on Bookish social media. And it it's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be, but I've heard some really good things about it. I really am interested in the cover, and I'm very excited to get to it. Those are all of the books that I got in December of 2024, and now I'm going to talk about the books that I read in December 2024. So let's just go in the order that I read them. So first up, we have A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I just talked about this video in quite a bit of length in my 5-star reads video, so if you want to know my opinions on that book, go ahead and just watch that video. I promise you, you're going to get all of my opinions and more of an idea of what the story is about. But if you want just a quick summary of like the setting and the kind of the story of this book, it is basically about this woman named Elsie. Yeah, I always forget the characters' names after I finish them. Anyway, Elsie, her life isn't exactly going to plan. She's just been kind of stuck in the rut of the same old, and she does a trip up to a cabin in New York every year with a group of friends that she has made through a book club. And unfortunately, in the year that this takes place, everybody but her is unable to go to the cabin for the summer because of personal things going on. So she decides, hey, my life is kind of, not going very great. I kind of need a change of scenery, so I'm just going to go up there by myself. And in her very, very long trip, she ends up getting lost and stumbles into this very small town and almost hits somebody. And she wakes up in the morning with a sense of familiarity, and she realizes that she somehow got stuck in the fictional setting of her favorite romance novel. And so I, like I said in my last video, really love this book. I gave it 5 stars, and I am very much looking forward to reading Ashley Poston's other books in the future. I do have the 7-year slip from her, and then I plan on, if I like that book as well, getting The Dead Romantics by her, and then she has another one coming out this year in 2025. So I am very, very excited to read more of her work. And then the book that I just sold because I didn't like it is called The Kingdom of Sweets by, I think it's Erica Johansson. If I have the ability to put like a little card in or a little image of it, I will put it. But I gave that book 3.5 stars. It just wasn't my favorite. I did enjoy it. It is actually a Nutcracker retelling, and it is basically about this set of twins. One was blessed as light and one was blessed as dark, and we are following the dark twin, and it is about her perspective through the events of the Nutcracker and beyond it. And honestly, I don't know what it was about the book that I just didn't like. I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't what I wanted it to be in terms of a retelling. It was okay, it wasn't horrible, but I just didn't like it. Now let's go ahead and talk about The Teller of Small Fortunes. Like I said earlier, this was my book club book for December. I did give this book 4 stars. It is about a woman by the name of Tao who is born with the ability to see into the future, and she decides to go on the run from her past and become a fortune teller, but she only tells small fortunes, which is just very little blips of somebody's future that isn't gonna alternate their life too much in the grand scheme of things. And during her running from her past, she ends up meeting a whole bunch of different people, and they help her grow and change in so many amazing ways. And this book is just so beautiful and heartwarming, and there's found family, which I am a sucker for, and I really, really enjoyed it. The main reason why I gave it 4 stars was because it was slow at times, and I felt like the plot it was a little simple, but I still really enjoyed it, and I do recommend this book to anybody. And this is one of the main reasons why I like being in a book club, because they make me read books that I don't think I would ever pick up, or at least not anytime soon. So I really love that. This book that I read was actually a reread of a book that I read back in late September, early October 2023, and that is In the Shadow Garden by Liz Parker. This is a book that I also annotated, because any book that I reread, I do annotate it. If you want a video about how I annotate, what tools I use, anything that involves annotating or anything like that, just let me know and I will definitely make a video about that. I really love this book. Basically what this is the story of the Haywoods, who have this magical shadow garden, and they basically are able to take people's feelings and emotions, and they are able to plant them into a soil and create different plants and fruits and vegetables with these people's emotions. And they have a long-standing beef with another family called the Bonners, who own a bourbon distillery in the town. And it is basically the story of their beef with each other, and a secret that nobody ever saw coming. And I really loved this book when I very first read it. I thought it was really great. I loved the characters of it. It is very, very character driven, which I didn't really mind too much in this book, just because, like I said, if I can connect with the characters, especially the main character of the books that I read, it makes me love the book so much more. So I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really great, and I'm really glad that I did read it again. It took me 3 months to finish. We're not going to talk about it. I started this on September 29th, and I finished this on New Year's Eve. So it's fine. But I still really love this book. I'm really glad I decided to give it a reread. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. On this reread, I gave it 4 stars initially, but I bumped it up to 4.5. And I do recommend this book. I'm very excited for Liz Parker's other book, which is coming out this upcoming year. I'm not exactly sure when. And I do plan on making a video of all the books I'm looking forward to releasing in 2025. So check out that video at some point within this month. I'm going to try and do all of my wrap up and those kind of videos in this month of January. So those are all of the books that I got in the month of December and all the books that I read in the month of December. I am hoping that the video won't, from now on, the videos won't be as long, because this haul for this month was, I definitely think, a lot bigger due to like the holidays and everything. And I also don't feel like I'll have to explain like when I got what, like I have to in this video. So I'm hoping that I will be able to get through the books I purchased part a lot faster in my upcoming videos that I will make. So yeah, let me know if this is a video that you would like to see more of. Like I said, I will try to do this at the beginning of every single month. Thank you all so very, very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also let me know what videos you would like to see. I do plan on filming my top 5 books of 2024, as well as my favorite rereads of 2024. This will be in that list in case you were curious. And I do have a couple of other videos in mind that I plan on doing within these next couple of months. So be sure to let me know if there are any videos you would like to see sooner rather than later, and I will definitely try to make them as quickly as I can. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.